Hello, everyone, and thank you all for coming tonight and being part of this really interesting conversation on inclusive prosperity. I think I speak for everyone in this room when I say I think we'll leave here tonight with great insight into the future of our province and hopefully some optimism. So thank you, and thank you for the wonderful welcome given to us by the City of Windsor. So my contribution follows from the observation that Ontario's labour market suffers from two interrelated but quite paradoxical problems. The first is that despite the province's world-class education system, too many young people are left unemployed or underemployed. And the second is that a significant skills mismatch exists as demand for jobs in the modern economy are unmet, meaning that at the same time that young people struggle to find employment, employers are unable to fill skilled positions, a state of affairs that, according to the Conference Board of Canada, cost the province $24.3 billion in reduced growth and $3.7 billion in lost revenue each year. So fortunately, a potential solution, and I think a rather convincing one, to these problems can be found, as is so often the case, if we cast our gaze abroad and learn from successful experiences elsewhere. So it is my belief, and what I am here to propose tonight, that the Ontario government should look to emulate the success of Germany, Switzerland, and Austria by introducing a dual education system that combines subsidized classes at vocational institutions with on-the-job apprenticeship training. So while youth unemployment in Ontario has seasonally fluctuated throughout 2017 between 11.9 and 15.6%, Germany maintains an annual average of 10.1%, which is amongst the lowest in the world. So PwC estimates that if every country in the OECD were able to replicate Germany's success in reducing youth unemployment, it would boost their collective GDP by $1.1 trillion, and that if Canada were able to do so, it would increase GDP by 1.6%, adding $23 billion to the national economy. Research from the Hoover Institute suggests that a strong negative correlation exists between vocational education and both youth unemployment and unemployment more generally, finding a 10% increase in the number of students in vocational programs reduces youth unemployment by 2% and total unemployment by 0.6%. So if young people are to have the opportunities that they need to succeed in today's dynamic, high-skilled economy, these are lessons that the Ontario government really needs to learn. So what exactly are dual education systems? Well, they have three basic features. The first is that high school students apply to firms for temporary paid positions and once accepted, split their time between work and mastering a curriculum that has been specifically designed with the input of employers to meet industry demands. The second is that programs last between 2 and 3 years and encompass a wide variety of career paths that require specialized skills from automotive engineering and finance to computer engineering and retail management. And the third is that successful candidates are regularly offered full-time employment upon completion by employers who have invested heavily in their professional development. So experiences elsewhere suggest that a dual education system could provide important benefits for Ontario. I would provide young people with a realistic, affordable, and attractive path to productive employment, and in doing so, ensure that a comfortable middle-class life remains within reach regardless of one's backgrounds or particular talents, and that success at an academic institution is no longer the primary determinant of earnings potential and employment prospects. Furthermore, it would create a highly skilled workforce that would attract investment, promote innovation, encourage growth, and prioritize high-quality goods and services as the bedrock of the provincial economy. And finally, and perhaps just as importantly, it would ease the pressures of degree inflation for those who still choose to pursue more traditional forms of higher education by correcting for the oversupply of academic certifications in the labor market. Now, the question, as with any major public policy undertaking, is how the government could possibly pay for all of this. So if we look again at Germany, the annual cost of the country's dual education system is about $22,300 per student, a figure that is slightly below the average annual expenditure per student at Canadian colleges and universities. In general, the state pays about a third of these costs, and participating firms pay the rest. So while this may seem expensive, it is important to note that, like any smart investment, it promises considerable rewards. So participating firms would receive both immediate returns from the work performed by apprentices, as well as the longer-term advantage of being able to recruit highly trained employees with valuable practical skills, experience, and familiarity with corporate culture and operations. Economic output would also expand, and as a result, so would the government's intake from corporate income taxes. Young people would would have more disposable income to spend at businesses in Ontario, boosting domestic consumption, and be able to afford major purchases such as homes and cars at earlier stages in life, contributing to higher receipts from personal income, sales, property, and payroll taxes. And the provincial government could reduce spending elsewhere, most notably on subsidizing universities that would attract fewer students, as young people no longer view academic credentials as an essential prerequisite for success. So these benefits are, I think, too significant to ignore. Inclusive prosperity really is a policy choice, and I think it's time we started making the right ones for the young people of Ontario. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Graeme.